Good morning, everyone. In our previous chapter, we learned about different types of languages like binary language, assembly language, high level languages. In our course, we are having a very high level language which is Python. So, before moving on programming languages or learning how to program, we are having few terms that we need to know. First one is algorithm, then flowchart and pseudocode. On these three terms, our today's lecture is based on. Now the question arises, what is algorithm? You can say that algorithms are the building blocks of a computer program, or these are as important to programming as recipes are to cooking. For example, if you want to make tea, then what you need? You have to follow an algorithm, you have to follow a proper recipe, that you want to take a pen, then you want to put it on a stove, after that you want to put a water in it, then the tea leaves and milk and sugar. Okay, so this is an algorithm. Or you can, let us take another example. When you figure out how to get to your school, you are using an algorithm. When you discern the most efficient way to baking that cake, you use an algorithm. In a simple things of our daily life, we are using an algorithm. So in a computer, any non-trivial software uses an algorithm to get the work done. Algorithms are the most important thing by which we are able to write the code in first place. So here's the definition of algorithm. Algorithm is a set of steps to be followed in solving some particular problem. Basically, what is algorithm? It is a set of steps to be followed. Now, why do we need an algorithm? Algorithm are the best chosen when efficiency matters. So the first one is the efficiency. First one is efficiency. Next one, in cases where we need to optimize a computer program, the best algorithm can work. Okay, optimize a computer program is using the available resources best. Next one, when anyone decide to solve a problem through better algorithm, then searching the best combination of program speed and less memory consumption. Next one is program speed and less memory consumption. So we are having four important points for algorithm. That is, first one is efficiency. That's why I need an algorithm. Next one is optimizing the resources. Next one is program speed. After that, less memory consumption. Here I am taking an example of algorithm where I am initializing x as 0. This is the algorithm for printing first 20 numbers. Okay. So first I am initializing x as 0. Next, incrementing the x by 1 plus 1 I am doing. After that I am printing that value, printing the x. If x is less than 20, then again I am incrementing it by 1 till 20. Okay. Now our next term is flowchart. What is a flowchart? A flowchart is a graphical representation of a process or system that details the sequencing of steps required to create a output. Basically, you want to create an output of a process or a system, so the steps which are involved in it are sequentially arranged with the help of a graphical representation. Then that representation is known as a flowchart. Now, what are the advantages of flowchart, or why we are studying the flowchart? Is first one, to define a work process. Okay, as we are saying that it is the representation of sequencing of steps, details the sequencing of steps. So it involves the details of work process, how a work is done. Next one, evaluating the timing of task. In how much time your work is done. Evaluating the timing of task. Next one, troubleshooting or fixing the problems. Troubleshooting or fixing the problems. Why we are saying that flowchart help in troubleshooting or fixing the problems? Because, for suppose you are creating a code, right? After creating a code, you are having a code of 5,000 lines and there is some problem inside that code, but you are not able to recognize why your output is wrong. So by flowchart, we can easily recognize why our output is wrong, because it is a sequential detailed representation of your steps. Next one is our pseudocode. Before that, we check what type of graphical representation is here. So earlier we have used the algorithm to print the first 20 numbers. Here I'm starting an algorithm or steps, then I'm initializing x equal to 0. After that I'm incrementing x by 1, then I'm printing the value of x. After that I'm checking if x is less than 20, then again it go to second step, increment the x by 1, else if it is not 20 then it ends. Okay, next one is our pseudocode. What is a pseudocode? Before learning definition of pseudocode, what does pseudo mean? Pseudo means half. Okay, or you can say that pseudo means false. It will be a representation that almost looks like a code written in a programming language. That means it's a false code. It looks like a code that is written in a programming language, but in actually it is not a code. Now, why we need a pseudocode? The purpose of using a pseudocode is an efficient key principle of an algorithm. It is used in planning an algorithm, which is sketching out the structure of a program. While you want to create a program, you want to create a program for algorithm. So for structuring it, how does a program look like? We need a pseudocode before the actual coding takes place. Next one, advantage is it is understood by all programmers of all type. That means if a programmer is coding in Java, that person is a Java programmer, it can understand that code. If a person is a Python programmer, it can understand that code. If a person is a Ruby, Perl, Scratch, any language programmer, that person can easily understand the pseudocode. Next one, it enables the programmer to concentrate only on algorithm part of the code. What is the algorithm? It is focusing on that, not the program. Next one, it can be compiled into a executable program. Okay, we can, as we are saying that pseudocode is a false code. It just look like a program, so it is not belonging to any particular language. So in any language we can use that code. For example, in earlier we have taken the algorithm to print the first 20 numbers. Now I'm taking a pseudocode algorithm sample, get data. While there is data, do the math operation. After that again get data and while algorithm. So here we are not mentioning any kind of algorithm or flow chart. How many numbers we are taking, what type of flow we are taking. So it is understandable by any language programmer. Okay, now we are going to revise it again. Algorithm, it is a set of steps, whereas flowchart is a graphical representation and pseudocode is a false representation. Next one, algorithm is followed in solving some particular problem. It is based on a fixed problem, whereas flowchart details the sequencing of steps required to create output, and pseudocode, it looks like a code written in a programming language. Now next, what are the advantages of algorithms? First one, efficiency. It increases the efficiency. Optimize the resources. Okay. Next one, problem solving. After that, low memory consumption. What are the advantages of flowchart? Work process, efficiency in tasking. Okay, after that, troubleshooting or fixing the problems. Last one, what are the example of pseudocode? Any programmer can easily understand, can be converted into a executable code. Focus is on algorithm. Now our main focus is on flowchart, how to make a flowchart. So making a flowchart, we are having some depictions or the graphics that we are going to use. First one is the terminal box, which depicts the start or end of the flowchart, or you can say the start or end of the process. After that, we are having input or output, which is represented by a parallelogram. Okay, if we are taking an input or if we are printing an output, then we are displaying it in the form of parallelogram. Next, we are having the process or instruction box, which is a rectangular box. Process instruction means any instruction we are giving, any command which we are giving, or the process which is taking place over there. After that, we are having a decision box, which is in the form of diamond, or you can say it is a form of a rhombus. Okay, next one, decision box means if you are having a condition like if this happens then do this, if that happens then do that. Next one we are having the connector or arrow, or you can say the flow lines. After that, I'm taking first example. I'm converting a temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, first here I'm in algorithm. Reading the temperature in Fahrenheit. First, what we have to do? We have to read the temperature in Fahrenheit because we are converting the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So first we have to read the temperature from Fahrenheit. After that, I have to use the formula, okay, for conversion of temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. After converting, I can print the temperature in Celsius. Now making a flow chart. So first one, to start a flow chart, what we need? The initial terminal or box, or start or end box, right? So first one I am having the start box. After that, I want to make sure in which way my data flow, on in which way my process takes place. So for this, for connection, we need the arrow connector or the flow lines. Next one, I want to take the input as I want to read the temperature. So I have to take the input. So I need a parallelogram. Here I am reading the temperature in Fahrenheit. Next one, again I need a flow line. After that, I want to calculate. So for calculation, what we have to need? We need a rectangle for process or instruction. So here I am calculating the temperature or converting the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. After that, again I need a flow line. After that, I need to print the output. So for printing the output, what we need? Just similar to the input, we need a parallelogram. Again, we have to write the print C. After that, my process is over. So I can end my flowchart, and for ending, I can use the terminal box. So here we are having example of converting a temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Next one, I'm taking example to determine whether a student passed the exam or not. Okay, so here I'm having the algorithm. I'm having 4 courses or 4 subjects of which marks I'm taking. After that, I'm calculating an average grade, and then I have to check whether the grade is greater than 50 or not. If it is greater than 50, then the person is pass, else it is fail. So we will study the algorithm once again. First step, input grade of 4 courses, M1, M2, M3 and M4. After that, I have to calculate the average grade with formula given here. After that, I have to check if there is a condition. So we need a decision box over here. If average grade is less than 50, then I have to print fail, else I can print pass. Now we are creating a flowchart for it. First, we need a, what we need? We need a terminating box. That is for start or end. After that, I have to show the flow in which my data is flowing. So I need a arrow connector. I am giving the input. Okay, that is input output. Grade for 4 courses. So I am taking the input, that is reading. Okay, M1, M2, M3 and M4. After that, what I have to do? I have to calculate the average grade. So for calculation or for doing the process instruction, what I need? I need a rectangle. Yes, I need a rectangle or the process instruction box. So here I am calculating it. The average grade. Now, what happened? I am having a condition if, right? I am having a condition which is if. So I am putting on here a diamond shape. After that, if grade is less than 60, okay, we are taking grade as 60. Let us take it 60 over here. So if grade is less than 60, then it is fail, else it is pass. So we need again corrector lines. After that, if it less than 60, if it is less than 60 over here, yes, it is correct. If it is less than 60, then it will go here, else no, it is more than 60, then it will go over here, pass. After that, it is printed. Now I can end my flowchart. So here I am ending it. I am using a connectors and then end. See children, at some place we are using a terminator box of like this in normal. In some places like in Word, we are having a flowchart. We are having a terminator box like this shape, in this shape. So both are allowed, or you can say both. We can take both the shapes for terminating. Now children, in today's class we learned about what is an algorithm, what is a flow chart, what is a pseudocode, and we learned about their advantages. After that we learned about the depictions of a flow chart. That is, we are having a start, terminating box, ending or starting or ending box. Then for taking input output we are having a parallelogram. For process we are having a rectangular. For decision we are having a diagonal shape or the rhomboid shape, and the ending. Now your homework is you have to draw a flow chart to add two numbers, and you have to draw a flow chart to add to find the maximum between two numbers. For adding the two numbers, what do you have to do? Okay, I will give you a hint. First you have to take the start. Then what you have to do? You have to take two numbers, that is the input, or for input we have to take parallelogram. Then you have to make the process, that is, you have to add two numbers. After that you have to print the output of two numbers, and then you have to end the process. Same case with checking or finding the maximum between the two numbers. You have to start, you have to take the numbers as an input, two numbers. After that, what you have to do? You have to directly, instead of applying the process box or the instruction box, directly you have to put on a decision box. Okay, if first number is less than second number, then we print out first one is greater, and if we are having second number is greater, then we print out second number is greater. And for printing out which depiction we have to use? The parallelogram, because we know that for input output we use parallelogram. After this we have to AND. Okay children, so make the flow chart and send it to me. Thank you class. From tomorrow onwards we will start Python.